So welcome to a brand new webisode. I'm in my office. It's Monday afternoon, and I'm annoyed, and not for any particular reason. Well, that's not true. I am annoyed, but it's not really anybody's fault. See, the last house we rented, and I'm just letting you know up front, this is more of a personal, I'm venting webisode than it is anything that really relates to you. So you can continue watching if you want, but I'm basically venting because I can. So the last house we rented, the uh, the owners were totally cool, and the house was nice, not too far from where we live now, off of Cortero and Hartman. But at one point, and this was about a year ago now, because of the recession, the owners of the house, we'd been in there for a couple of years, about 3 years, had to downsize and needed to come back into the house that we were living in, and they were gracious enough to give us enough time to go ahead and move, even though we had no intention of doing that. But it just became a massive ordeal. We had really didn't have any intention to move. We had thought about possibly doing it, but never actually went through with it. And just getting the house cleaned up, it just became a bit of a mess. It was fine once it was done. And we ended up finding this great place up on the northwest side, way northwest, Tangerine and Thornydale, and signed a 2-year lease to live here, and really love this place. The neighborhood's fantastic and everything else. The owners were living out of the country, and they came back last year. Now they're living in an apartment on the east side. Well, they recently informed us that they that we could break our lease and leave whenever we wanted to, which obviously means that they want to move back into their house, which means that come May of next year, when the lease is actually up, May of 2012, it's obvious they're going to want to take their house back. And that's not our problem. It's not our issue. I mean, we chose to live here. We can stay through the lease if we want. It's obvious that they want the house back. But the whole thing is really unnerving to me. And in the middle of all this, they've come by and looked at the house, which is their right to do so. It's their house. And they wanted some measurements because they're building a closet for the master bathroom or the master bedroom bathroom for when they move back. So, again, that's unnerving, but it's of no fault of anybody. And I was thinking about it, why am I so unnerved by this? And I realized it's because ultimately, and this is the conservative in me, I just don't want to be bugged. Right? Now, they're not doing anything wrong. I want to stress that. They're not doing anything wrong. It's their house. We're renting from them. They will hold their agreement true. But there is something unnerving about knowing you're living in a house that's not yours, and it's the byproduct of having to rent. And then having somebody come and look at the house and wanting measurements for a cabinet they're going to build. I mean, I kind of feel bad for them. I would want to live in my own house if it was my house. Now, they allowed us to sign a 2-year lease. I don't think they planned on coming back. And I work in radio, and I decided to rent because you don't buy in radio because it's the kiss of death. I learned that lesson in Atlanta. But ultimately, in trying to sort of work through why I felt so unnerved and why it was uncomfortable, it just came down to I just don't like to be bothered, especially if I'm doing what I need to do. And again, no fault of theirs, but we're paying rent and we're keeping the house nice, and we're good tenants. We paid the rent on time, and you just don't want to have to deal with it with anything. And I was like, yeah, that's the total conservative in me. Just get out of my life, leave me alone. But life isn't that way. It's not. You do have to deal with the little things, which is why I try to work through them so they don't become bigger issues. So now we're trying to find another place to move again, which for whatever reason has become difficult. I don't know if it's because the house we're living in is so nice that we want to make sure we get an equivalent house, but we got a really great deal on this place. And it's been difficult to find one in a neighborhood that we like. And I was thinking about moving to Jefferson Park. Maybe we'll move into one of Michael Goodman's mini dorms and just have our family live there. And I'll use Logan's Logan's allowance as part of the rent. I'm totally kidding. I wouldn't live in Jefferson Park, and you want to know why? Because it's right next to the University of Arizona. 125 years it's been there. I don't think there are people that old living in Jefferson Park. Just saying. All right, there. I vented. Thank you for allowing me to vent. Total self-serving webisode today. I absolutely. Another location for you to pick up tickets on Thursday, either Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be at the Orange Griffin on Scott Avenue. We figured that'd be kind of funny. So more details coming up on the show. And again, for those that don't get tickets to the anniversary party, at the Sheraton. You can come down to the hotel afterwards in the bar area. And hang out once we're done in the main room. You just can't get into where the speeches are. And Jerry Doyle and Neil Bortz, as far as I know, will be heading downstairs. They'll be signing autographs by the pool for those that bought tickets. But we're going to kind of move the whole party from the upstairs of the Sheraton to the downstairs. So you can always come down to the bar and hang out, and hope that you get an opportunity to meet Jerry and Neil. I know I'm not that big of a deal, but you can meet me anywhere. Heck, I'm at the Chick-fil-A at Elcon every other week. So, all right, there you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.